So guys, prior to the college basketball season, here were the preseason polls for the top 25 teams. And as you can see here, you're going to see those pretty familiar teams like the Dukes, the Purdue's, Kansas's, the Michigan States, the UConns, Gonzaga's. If you keep up with basketball, you guys know that there's pretty similar teams every single year. But fast forward to the beginning of 2024, believe it or not, bro, 22 out of these top 25 teams have actually lost at least one game this season, meaning there are only 3 teams remaining that's undefeated. And as you can see here, those teams consist of Houston, James Madison, and Ole Miss. Now, if you were to ask a random person out there, majority of the time, you're going to get the consensus that this college basketball season, they really don't have that consensus number one transcendent type of player that NBA teams are tanking for. There's really no superstar player in college, and there's really no Zion Williamsons, Kevin Durant's, or anything like that in this draft. And if you want to be completely honest, I kind of feel the same way as it pertains to the teams as a whole. I really feel like there's no team out there that's just an absolute favorite that's going to make the Final Four or make the NCAA March Madness tournament. Obviously, you can choose those preseason picks that are number 1, number 2, number 3, but to be honest, majority of the time, those teams never even make it to the Final Four. And I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like every single time, like, those teams just get upset by some random mid-major, low Division I school. It just happens every single year. Or if you're somewhere within that top 25, to be honest, even if you're the 25 ranked team in the country, trust me when I say that you actually have a legit chance of actually making it to the Final Four. But with all that being said, guys, like I said, it is the beginning of 2024. So in this video, we're going to be taking a look at the top 10 teams in college basketball that actually have a chance to winning the March Madness tournament. Comment down below, who do you personally feel like is the best team in college? Let me know if you agree with my list, and let's get on to this video. So guys, boom, starting off with the 10th team on this list, I personally have to go with the Memphis Tigers. If you guys remember, Memphis actually lost in the first round in the NCAA tournament last season. But if you've been keeping up with Memphis this season, guys, I'm telling you right now, bro, this Memphis team is easily one of the most underappreciated teams right now in college. If you want me to be completely honest, I really have no idea why they were nowhere near the top 25 in the preseason polls. But right now, as you can see here, they are currently 10-2 as I'm recording this video. And you'll see that their most significant wins actually come from schools like Missouri, Michigan, Arkansas, Villanova, Clemson, and Virginia. And you can honestly make the argument that this Memphis Tiger team is honestly beaten the best set of teams within the top 10 teams in this video. I personally believe with the addition of their transfers, most notably being David Jones and Javon Quinterly, they've definitely been a huge reason why this team has been so good. You'll see here that David Jones is currently the 11th leading scorer in the entire nation, averaging about 21 points a game. And he's also leading this Memphis Tiger team in points, rebounds, and steals as well. And then pairing up with a veteran like Javon Quinterly, who I personally feel like is getting consistently better year after year after year, and he has that veteran presence. I'm telling you guys right now, don't be surprised if Memphis upsets one of these top teams in that March Madness tournament. Now, just based on talent alone, I feel like it's mandatory that we have to put Baylor somewhere within the top 10. So I have to put them at the 9th position in this video. But despite me saying that they are a top 10 team, I have to be honest, I just feel like the fact that they just haven't beaten a legit contending team that's in the top 25, it's honestly just kind of hard for me to rank them above the teams in this video. But I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are expecting this Baylor team to at least make it to the Sweet 16, Elite 8. But like I said, it's just hard for me to rank them in the top 10 just because they have taken 2 losses so far. In every single win that they've accumulated so far this season, it's honestly came against some pretty weak schools, if we're going to be honest. And I think the fact that they had that breakout performance in their first game against Auburn, and we also saw the emergence of Jacoby Walters. I think he finished with like 28 points in that game. Jacoby Walters, he's a projected lottery pick in the draft as well. I think just mainly due to that and just the fact that they do have the history, at least in recent years, to make it far in the tournament. Baylor's just a team that you just have to put within the top 10, but this is a team that I am going to be coming back to this video once I see how they look and perform against those top 25 schools. Now at the number 8 spot, guys, I have to go with University of North Carolina. As you will see here, UNC's most notable wins come against schools like Oklahoma, who they actually just gave them their first loss of the season. They've also beaten teams like Tennessee and Arkansas. And if you want me to be completely honest, generally, I really do think that this UNC team could be a top 3 team, but that's only if this team can just play a little bit more consistent. I just feel like they do have every single piece that you need to win a title. They have the scores, they have the veterans, they have the shooters, and just being led by a guy like a RJ Davis and also Armani Baycott. Like I said, the fact that they have the scores and they also have the inside presence and they have veterans. I know they've taken a couple losses this season, but no matter what, just based on everything that I just said, there's just no way that this team is just not a top 10 team. Now, I ain't gonna lie, bro, this one might be a hot take, but I have to go with the Houston Cougars as the 7th best team in college basketball. Now, like I said, hear me out. I definitely feel like this team is definitely built like a championship level team, but kind of similar to Baylor. I know they are undefeated, but this is kind of misleading just because they haven't really played nobody, to be honest, in the top 25 or even any crazy good team. So like I said, I know they are undefeated right now, but it is a little bit misleading, and they are ranked, I believe, number 3 right now in the AP top 25. But this is just a Houston team that I just need to see. How are they going to look against those top 25 teams? How are they going to look against those Purdue's, the Kansases, the Kentuckys? All those teams, they've lost at least one game, but it's mainly due to the fact that they played against other great schools. Houston, they're just one of those few teams that hasn't played anybody significant just yet. But like I said, this is another team that I want to see later down the line whenever they do play against those top schools. But right now, I have to go with Houston as the 7th best team in the nation. Now, at the number 6 spot, guys, I have to go with the Arizona Wildcats. Now, if you guys remember, this team actually started off pretty hot whenever they beat Duke, I believe, back in November. And they were also ranked as the number 1 team for a majority of the season until they took their first loss against Purdue, which you guys know that is pretty understandable. As you will see here, their most significant wins actually come from Wisconsin, Michigan State, and Duke. And very similar to the Memphis Tigers, I just think with the addition of their transfers, most notably Caleb Love, I think he's definitely taking this team to the next level. And he's a guy that I know he had a lot of eyes on him, but you can definitely make the argument that he's definitely becoming more of a complete player. I think he pairs up very well with Kylan Boswell, who's another prolific point guard that's also a projected first-round pick in the draft. But trust me, there's a reason why this Arizona team was the number 1 ranked team in the country for a couple weeks. So don't be surprised if they end up in the Final Four in the 2024 March Madness tournament. Now, at the number 5 spot, guys, I have to go with the team that, in my opinion, bro, stamp this, do what you want to do, call me crazy, but this 5th best team is going to win the March Madness tournament. And I have to go with Kentucky as the 5th best team coming into 2024 in the nation. Guys, you can argue with me and say what you want, but I just feel like this Kentucky team is the deepest team in college, from their starters to their bench. They legit have players that is coming off the bench that can legit start on majority of schools out there. I just feel like this team is orchestrated and built like a nationally contending team. I mean, they have arguably one of the best scorers in college basketball and most unguardable player in college basketball being Robert Dillingham. They also have the best on-ball defender from a guard's perspective and shooter being Reed Shepherd. They also have one of the best rim penetrators being DJ Wagner. They have their veterans being Trey Mitchell and Antonio Reeves. And the fact that they still have 3 7-foot bigs on this team, bro. Guys, like I said, I'm picking Kentucky to win this March Madness tournament. Call me crazy, but Kentucky's winning the tournament. It's really hard for me to keep Marquette out of the top 5. I have to put Marquette as the 4th best team right now. You can see here in their schedule, they managed to beat teams like Kansas, Illinois, Texas, UCLA. And with this man, Tyler Kolek, being one of the most overlooked players in college basketball. I mean, bro, this kid is averaging 15.6 assists on 54% shooting from the field, 43% from 3. And then they also have Oso Iguodala. Hopefully I'm saying his name right. Those two make that perfect 1-2 punch. I mean, just based on how they've looked so far this season, it's honestly kind of hard to argue against this team. And this team guaranteed is going to at least make the Elite 8. But right now, they're the 4th best team in college basketball. Now, at the number 3 spot, guys, I have to go with Kansas. I mean, Kansas arguably has the best player in college basketball being Hunter Dickinson. And this kid is a straight dog, bro. He's averaging, I believe, 18 points, 12 rebounds. He's the 2nd leading rebounder in the entire nation, and he's shooting 60% from the field. I mean, this team has beaten every single team in the book. You see, they've beaten Kentucky, Indiana, Tennessee, UConn, bro, and every single game that this team plays in, bro, these games are competitive. And the fact that they also have that point guard presence with DeJuan Harris, who I believe is the 8th best assist maker in college as well. And then they have Kevin McCullough, who's showcasing that he can be a legit wing and forward at the next level. I'm telling you guys right now, Kansas, they are a legit threat of actually winning the entire tournament. Now, I'm going to be completely honest, it was very, very hard for me to actually rank these last 2 teams. But at the number 2 spot, guys, I have to go with UConn at number 2 and I have to go with Purdue at number 1. I feel like UConn, they definitely have the tools. They have the pieces. They're the reigning March Madness tournament champion. I just can't get over the fact that they lost to Seton Hall. I mean, like I said, they are a championship built level team. They have the veterans. They have a superstar freshman being Stephon Castle. They got Donovan Clingan, who's going to be a top 5 pick. This team has everything you need to win a title. But the fact that they just took that loss, you just can't lose to a team like Seton Hall when you have the type of players that you have on your team. I know Purdue, I know they lost to Northwestern, but that game was pretty close, and mainly due to the fact that they've actually beaten teams like Arizona, Iowa, Marquette, Gonzaga, Tennessee, bro. They've at least beaten teams within the top 5 to top 10. And they also have one of the best players in college basketball, being Zach Edey as well. So there's just no way that I see Purdue getting upset, but then again, it happened last year, so you kind of never know. But right now, I have UConn as the second best team in college. Then I also have Purdue as the best team right now coming into 2024 as the best team in college. You watching this video, let me know down below if you agree with my list. Let me know if I missed some teams that should be in this video. Let me know other video ideas, and I'll see you guys in the next one.